So I think good
Yeah.
evening. Yeah, we will start, start, sir. So good evening, everyone. I like to thank Ahmad Fayeq Ghowsi, sir, for accepting the invitation. So today he will be sharing on how to file a patent. Uh, for I think nearly 45 minutes, he will be sharing his own expertise in this area. So I like to welcome him. I think due to some technical issues, he is not able to share his screen from his laptop. So I am sharing a screen, and in between he will be giving his talk from. Currently, he is in Iran. Earlier he was in Turkey. Now he is in Iran. So he will be sharing his views.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, I think there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Shall we start?
yeah, yes, yes, sir, yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Daniel. Uh, Today, I think we are going to speak about the how to file a patent, something kind of new topic, which is previously has not been maybe thought of in this course. As I'm aware, thank you so much from this Master Daniel that he has provided these courses for 1 month. I think it is very useful courses, as I have seen the topics for those who are newly starting PhD, or they are planning to do research, or they are joining to any scholarship program or any PhD program. Uh, Today I'm going to talk about something, how to file a patent. That intentionally this topic is, I intentionally consider this topic should be at the end of this course. But I assume that already those who are attending to this course, they know about how to write a journal paper, how to do the publications, and how to do research. So these things I think already taught in the previously courses. So I'm not going to re-explain more in detail in this class. And I hope today, sorry for the inconvenience, like I wanted to share through my laptop. I think there is some problem with the internet connection here in Iran. We have, so uh, sorry for that. And okay, we are going to talk today about the how to file a patent. File a patent is somehow it is different than the writing a journal paper, or writing, doing any research, or any other topic which previously we have done. Uh, so in this course, I have planned to talk about what is the intellectual property, or IP. So intellectual property, uh, we are talking about this is which is preliminary stuff, and something is different than uh, like previously courses. What is a patent? That which is this patent is underlined under the intellectual properties, and processing or protecting your invention. So sometimes during the research, during doing PhD, or during your own program, so you are finding something really new stuff, and this new stuff is required to be filed as a patent, and it is before proceeding for the publication, or before proceeding or losing your patentability of your invention. We have to take care of this. We have to, we should be use the best use out of this. And can you just complete the slides, please?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So the another things which we are talking about, the standard for patentability. So we have some kind of standards. It's very important for those who are looking for the patents. So they should know these standards, and they should know what is the standard for the patentability. Whatever work we are doing, is it patentable or not? So as I have remembered the beginning of PhD, we are always thinking something like, okay, whatever we are doing new. But Unfortunately, that is not always like whatever topic we are thinking or whatever topic we are doing research somewhere else in the world, it is extensively they are doing research, and we should do more research and more literature in detail to know about the topic, and whatever we are doing, it should be patentable and it should be novel idea. So we are talking about these standards, and we are talking about the research practice to manage a disclosure. So like what to do to reach a patent. So now we know what to do to reach a publication, to do a nice publication during your PhD, to finish a nice PhD with a good number of journals or high impact factor journals and all. So now if someone think laterally like, okay, so sometimes we are coming up with some very nice idea to, it is really patentable, which is like we are, it is very really useful for our career and it is for future. So why we shouldn't patent that? So before it is going to disclose to the society. So at the end, I'm talking about some example of patent. So obviously this example I selected from my patent, which is it is maybe specifically something in my own area, which is I'll try to explain it very in easy manner that based on this example that everyone should get to know what is the patent. And another example like how to file a patent in India. So at the end, the conclusion. So what is intellectual property at the beginning? We are talking about what is the intellectual properties. Complete the slides, please. Okay. And this intellectual properties, first we are talking about the patent. Patent is under the intellectual properties, which is if we see in the right side. So someone is thinking of like developing one another new devices or any other new application to manage your car or something to that application, which this application has been not disclosed anywhere else before or not has been done before. So someone can patent it. So if he can patent, he can register by his name that it has been done by me, by you, by or someone like that. So the same thing we have under this intellectual properties, we have trademarks or service marks. So these are like under this category, we are having logos, we are having some any other like Adidas, BBC, and this thing. These are something they use the right, they have the rights to use on their own products, and this is belong to them, and they develop for themselves, and it is from business point of view, and other is not having any rights except themselves. So the another one is the can you go ahead?
Yeah.
Yeah. Two more. Yeah. We are having another thing is copyrights. Copyrights we are having, for example, some softwares or some any other program we are developing, or we are having some statements which is belong to ourselves, and that is belong to our property, and we don't want that our software should be used by someone else. Like for example, Microsoft has been developed as Word and MS Office and all. Like if somebody else is taking these codes and all, like he is doing using the same codes and writing this application, this is a kind of copyright, and it is illegal stuff. It is under the control of the government that nobody has the rights to do that. So they will claim for that. So the other thing is we are having trade secrets. So in the business point of view, we are having some secret stuff like for example, McDonald's, if we are thinking like they are having some products and how they are making this their stuff and their snacks and all these things. This is secret, and maybe they will not disclose what are the ingredients in that. So this is a kind of secret intellectual property. So we are talking about next slide about the patent. So okay, out of this all, we are having the type of patent is different than other three. Three others are mainly focused based on the business point of view and some rights they have it. And those are also under the intellectual property. But patent is somehow different thing, which is come up with from the research background and research point of view. Like a patent is, it is an exclusive statutory manipulation. Like the one who is proposing any patent or disclosing any patent, so he's having the rights to use this. He has the rights to sell that. He has the rights to given to someone else. Nobody else having the rights except the one who disclosed this patent first. For example, we can see there is some patent like the left-hand side, we can see cycle. This is a patent which is in 2018. They have filed this, some new invention is in this. That is, so obviously the one who is invented, he has the right to sell to any company. He has the right to do anything with that and, under the law of the country. So similarly, we have, if we go back, so always it's not necessary a patent is very difficult stuff that you should do something really difficult. It is important to do something novel. And this tissue paper, which is having into pieces, it has been already filed as a patent long back ago in the United States. So similarly, somebody there in the products of shoes and all there using some different stuff, different material, different mechanism. Before they disclose this to the market, they are doing the patent and that nobody else should be do the same use and misuse of that. This all the rights is belong to the one who is doing at first. Yes. So next slide. Yeah. So trademarks, as we talked similarly, yes, Yahoo, Adidas, and BBC and Coca-Cola. These other companies, they have this their trademark or logo and something that they have the rights over to this on their products which they are using. Nobody else is having such rights, and this is belong to them, which they already filed this for themselves, and it is already known for them. So they can use this for their product. So next slide, please. Okay. Similarly, the copyright. So copyright, as we said, that it is including the softwares also, including the designs also, and etc. So we can write something, and that right is belong to the one who is inventing this. So who is doing initially. So the other, so if somebody is taking the quotes from somewhere else, is taking the notes or something which already somebody else said, and they are telling by themselves. So that is a kind of illegal stuff. That is also under the IP. So the fourth one is, next slide. The trade secret.
Just
Yeah,
sorry, sir. Sorry.
that's okay. The trade secret. The trade secret, as I said, there is belong to the product, some chemical stuff, composition, or anything can be, but they are not even disclosing the ingredients. They are not disclosing whatever it is inside. So they are still can keep it secret, and they can fix it for their name, and nobody else can be used out of this. Like next. Similarly, there's Coca-Cola is, for example, one of them that they have locked the ingredients. Okay. So now, till now, it is all about the intellectual properties, which we have talked that these are general topics. It means kind of so many other products, logos, and these things are under this right. But now, if we are coming to the patent, so patent is having a kind of research background. Sometimes within your own research, you need your own knowledge, you need your own background, you need your own study to come up with a patent. So a patent granted, it is having a rights to you to use it, to sell it, to give the rights to anyone you want for use for further research or for further production. So even for manufacture also. So this patent is beginning, it is for not forever, it is for 20 years. And then after 20 years, even the one who is the owner, he can extend it also, but preliminary, it is not long life, it is for 20 years. Then after 20 years, if you don't extend it, then it will be ended within 20 years. So it depends. Some of the patents, it is 14 years. It is different types of patent we do have that we will discuss in the next slides about that, how many types of patents we do have. Like the next slide. Okay, generally we have three type of patents. Okay, the first type is that utility patents. Utility patent is like, for example, you're using this application, you're making some mechanical stuff, you're making some from any background which you're having. So as I have heard from different backgrounds, the students are here, they are always can have the invention in their own background. For example, from engineering structure, from my point of view, so we can have one new type of braces to protect the building against the earthquake, or somebody else is like having a better devices for their own area. But we should be sure like to, okay, patentability or that other stuff should be checked, that we will talk about. So the other type of patent, we are having the design patents, which is the ornamental design only. That is the second one. And the third one is, it is plant patents. Even from the horticulture or agriculture engineers, they also do some patent, like mixing the combine of 2-3 plants and all. They are having with the new this plant, and which they can patent it. So they have also their own patent at their own area. So next slide, we will discuss about each one of these in detail. We will show the example, like this is the utility patents. Like very easy patent I have shown here, like very simple to understand. If you see the left side, that is a patent of one like to carry a baby. It's very easy kind of stuff. You can say jacket, or you can say some kind of dressing, like very nice tools, and they have patented. It is a nearly recent patent. We have many number of patents in the mobile applications also. Different mobile applications, we do have different type of patents within the applications, within the mobile configuration and all, which they can patent like that. So even if you see in the right hand side, there is a jacket. Very simply, they have provided one packet in front between these two packets. So that is also can be a patent. Sometimes a patent can be like that also, but not necessarily always to be like this very simple way that they are thinking and patenting. This is I have shown here to simply you say like, okay, so what is a patent to better understanding. So the next slide, please. Okay. This is the examples of design patents. Design patents, okay, like only you have the configuration of different style or different shape and all, like you can patent for yourself. At the same shape, nobody can use it. Like this basket is on the left side, that is patented already. This chair, obviously that is obvious chairs, but everywhere, but some different design is in this rather than others. So similarly, if you see this US registered design in the patent in the right hand side, the Coca-Cola bottle, it is actually long back ago they have already patented this, but still nobody else can be used, and nowhere else except Coca-Cola can use this configuration, because it is already patented for their name, and they can use it and nobody else can use it. Next slide. Yeah, this is an example of this agriculture engineers. They are doing this. They have also this patentability staff and plants and all, which they are frequently doing this patent. They are filing the patents according to their tools and necessary they are using in their own area. And next slides. Like we have more slides, I think. Yeah. What are patents right? Okay. For the patents right, to prevent other, as I told from the beginning, once we are patenting some stuff or some novel idea in our name, or novel production in our name. So we are preventing others that they should not use these properties belong to us, and nobody else is having this authority. So if later on these companies or somebody wants the same product, they have to buy from yourself, and nobody else can be sell it, and nobody can be used or make it the same. So making this manufacture, so using it or offering this, they cannot offering, they cannot sell it also. You can claim, and this is absolutely belong to the inventor or the one who is initiating this invention. And nobody can, it is importing or distributing or licensing to anyone else, except the owner can do all these rights to do that. Okay, next slide. Yeah, there is some reputed patents offices around the world, which they are filing the patents. Like the left hand side, it is the US patent, which is very known patents, and there is many number of patents already filed there that we can always check and look for the all the area which you're looking for doing the patent or filing the patent. We can look from their own services. And there is another world intellectual patent we are having, world intellectual properties we are having, which they are filing a number of patents. In India also we are having this intellectual property. So this is Indian patent, which we can file. We have offices in Delhi and so many other states within India. In Europe also we are having this patent office. Similarly, we have in Japan also. Japan also, they are having these offices, and they are having so many number of novel ideas, and they are developing novel ideas in their own area, which we can check for their own patents which they have filed. So these are the important sources that I have shown here. So obviously there is many other countries also, they have their own patent office within the country and all. So we can always check those also and their patentability. So next slide. The next stage is we are talking about the protecting your patent. So always, as I told at the beginning, whenever you are doing the publication, we are doing the research, we are, some idea is coming in our mind. So it is not important always that you should go to lab and we should do the testing that whether our idea is working or not. So it is advisable that first you should file the patent provisionally. It is like you should provisionally you can apply and write the file and all, and you submit to the patent office. Then later on you can proceed, because during the test in the lab and all, somebody from your friends can see the invention, and even he can go ahead before you. So that once it is published or once it is disclosed, obviously that is no longer patentable. So before it is going to disclose to others, so it is better that it should be published, it should be submit as an invention. And don't write any publication or any abstract anywhere before it is submitting to the patent office. So after filing the patent, even similarly, never try to just do parallelly also, like at the same time submitting to the journal and submitting to this. So this is not advisable, because journal will come, the result of publication will come very soon, much sooner than the publication in the file. Patenting file, it is taking time. It is taking 1 year, 2 years, 18 months, within 18 months till the time they are checking and all. It is long procedure. So that you cannot at the same time submit, because once the publication will be before that. So next slides, like yeah, there is we are having a standard for the patentability. So what kind of invention is patentable? So whether whatever it is thinking in our mind, it is coming, okay, we have seen at the beginning there was one packet in front in jacket that, so they have patented. Whether if we change the position, can we patent the same? So obviously not. So we should first look for whatever invention we have in our hand or whatever idea we have in our mind. We should think whether is it useful or not. First terms, it should be useful. And the second stage, it should be novel idea. It should not be done before. It should not be like already similar work has been done somewhere else and you want to plan to do similar work. Or maybe sometimes at the beginning of our research with less literature, we are thinking of something which is, okay, this is patentable. This is my experience, I'm saying. Like, it is patentable, I can patent it and all. But later on, once we are reading more literature deeply, we can say already the work has been done somewhere else. Other part of the work has been done. So obviously we should read more literature more deeply and search for that. The idea is really novel, really nobody has been done, and it is non-obvious. So some work is like, obviously some people, they do some stuff or some technical, their own technical, which is obvious in the mechanical or some any other area, which is obviously people, they do some way, but those obvious results we cannot make as a patent. So it should not be obvious, it should be non-obvious, whatever we are patenting. These are very important factor for a patentability. So the next slide. So in India, we are having something different. So in India, if we are filing for the patent, actually I agree with India that they have, it should be novel first. And the second thing is it should be, the third thing is it should be industrial application should be for that. Otherwise, it will not be patentable. It should be non-obvious, it should be novel, and it should be industrial applicable also, like whatever you're filing the patent. So whether it is used for the industrial or not. If it is not, then you cannot do such patent in India. So this is the rule, and this is the difference than other countries. Okay, next slide. Okay, so there is before I said publication, we should not do any publication, or we should not disclose this patent to your friends or to anyone before filing the patent, or before keeping, or before we, we should not it is should not be disclosed to others. Okay. Then next slide. This is what we have discussed already. Yeah, in some country it is different. Like obviously, if you are sometimes publishing some paper, or we are submitting to some conference, or you are presenting some conference. So whether within a conference, within an abstract, can we publish it again? So obviously, it is one conference can be maybe not so much obvious. So like disclosure. So in the United States, up to 1 year after the disclosing for such conference or something non-obvious disclosure, so you can file the patent. So this can be possible only in the United States. The same thing, it's not possible for other countries like India or some Japan. Or so this contract is only exist in the US patent. If you want to file a patent in the United States, if you within the 1 year period of time, if you already presented also somewhere, it is no problem, they will accept. But it is always better, it's always accept, it is better advisable to just first file the patent, even processing for the lab, even processing for the result, or for proving the result. So at least you should have file, and you should keep the idea safe, that it should be not later on face any problem. So next slide. Okay, there is some example of that obvious public disclosure and non-obvious public disclosure. So obviously, if you are writing a journal paper, this is already disclosed. So this is no longer will be patentable. So you cannot patent. Or if you speak at a conference, which is obviously this is kind of obvious public disclosure. Already people, they will get to know about whatever you're doing, what is the idea, or what is that. So you cannot longer file the patent. Or offering for the sale this products to some company and all, do you already disclose this? So obviously you cannot do the same thing. So the next slide, we'll go faster. We have less time. Yeah, research practice to manage the disclosure. So what to practice? So again, we are coming the same point. Like patent, first, not to publish. First, disclose the idea. So file and submit it. Then don't reveal, don't talk with your friends, and don't tell to your friend, and they'll don't tell to someone except your guides or except the one who you are talking and discussing about this confidentially. So that should be also confidential. Talk with this your guide or someone you're doing this work along with. So except that, there is not advisable. So next slides. There is some research practice to manage this disclosure, like to what to so how to patent search novel or non-obvious. We should know that whether this topic whichever we are selecting, whether it is a novel, or how do we know that is novel or it is non-obvious? Is it novel idea or it is not novel idea? So we should search from the keyword. So for example, if you are searching about some watch, or we should search the keywords around that, the near to the patent which you are which the idea which you have in your mind. It's different in your own area, in my own area. Every area we are having different keywords to search. This is the first advice thing, is search the keywords and read the papers near to that. Have more and more and more literature rather than literature you're having for the journal paper. There's much more literature rather than literature you're having for the journal paper. Or you should read the uh, who are the competitor, who are working in this area. So you should read their own work, what they are doing, what they have done. Or maybe you see the latest filing patent number, so who has done what kind of filing they have done, and what is in this invention has been tended till where. So once you check this and classify all these things, you can find this really, okay, what has been done till now, and what has been filed till now, and what need to be filed for further. And so what is really, so that is still, it is required for really understanding of yourself from the literature. And you should read from the citation of the paper, one paper you are reading. So to know about more about detail about this topic, so you should first refer to their citation. So whatever paper they are citing, you should read the citations and latest paper. Usually it is advisable first go to for the last 5 years paper, not more than that. It's not advisable to go for very old papers, cannot help you for knowing more literature. This is my advice even in the research also. So you never try to go for very old literature paper. So go for the 5 years. If sometimes within the literature, within the paper which is during this time you're finding some another references, then again you can go back, you can find this paper and you can search it and you can look for this, that whether what is has been done and what is lifted and what are the gap of research. So obviously whenever we are talking about the research, always we are having a gap of research. That is why we are doing research, right? If we are not having any gap of research, so we don't need to do research. So why we do research? Why we are publishing? To solve some issue, to write something about some problem, to solve some problem. First, we should identify the problem, what is really a problem is. Then we can identify, okay, if there is the problem, so then our mind is start working on this, to what to do for this, what is the solution. First, for everything, before doing any research, even for the literature also, for the research paper also, similar advice. First, you should identify the gap of research. Beginning, I have experience, like whenever I was reading beginning my literature, I was not finding any gap of research. Whenever my supervisor was telling me that you find a gap of research, I was saying, no, whatever I'm reading, it is already has been done. It is already has been done. So you cannot find a gap of research if your literature is poor. So it means if you're not finding the gap of research, it means you should read more number of papers. You should read more number of papers. So obviously there is number of problem, which is we are not complete at any area. At any area, we are not complete. It means in engineering, I can say about myself, in civil engineering, earthquake engineering. So we are not able to design a building to it should be 100% safe against the earthquake. So it means, so there is a problem. So why we are not able to make a building to be 100% safe against the earthquake and give this assurance to people like, okay, you are safe in this building, you can go. So obviously there is a gap of research in this. No? So then we can look for that, like why we are not able to design a building to be 100% safe against the earthquake. So it means there's a gap of research exists. It's still people, they need to work to provide a building, to it should be safe 100% against the earthquake. Similarly, right now we are having this coronavirus. So why we are not having any medicine for that? So it means that is a gap of research. We need to do research to find the appropriate medicine for that, for this, to solve this issue, right? So even they can also patent, the one who is do this vaccine first, maybe they can do this patent and they have all the rights, the one who is doing. So this is what is the patent is, and how we can go ahead and we can reach to a patent, to file a patent, to find a novel idea. This is all about the research, about the literature, about the knowing the gap of research, nothing else except knowing the gap of research. Gap of research is while reading the papers, we can learning this thing. Next slide, please. Yeah, there is some patent search for the patent. Sometimes you have this official sources, that is like, I'm happy with all these sources which I have mentioned here, because whenever I'll go to search a patent, I will go from these sources, and they are having a good style of numbering and all, like to what has been done, what is the next has been done, what is the next has been done. All the stages going to be built clearly in your mind, that okay, what has been done and what has not been done. So these are the sources I have given for this, who are interested to search at every area, no matter in engineering or, so you can search at your own area, like to what to do in this filing the patent and all, what patent has been done and what has not been done. So whatever it is in your mind, first go and check whether that has been done or not. It is not, then think of that. So you do it. Okay, next slide. Yeah, there is actually a patent examples I want to explain you here. Obviously, this is maybe a little bit, it is specifically in my own area. So I will try to explain it easily, as easy as possible, to be clear for everyone, those who are attending to this course. This is about the earthquake resistance, as I told you before, like a building to resist against the earthquake. We always taking off that flexibility on the building. One building should be flexible to dissipate the energy which is coming. Energy, this is the energy of the earthquake coming at the base of the building. To dissipate this energy within the building, we need some displacement within the building. So if the building is displaced, it means some of the member we should allow to rotate. If it is allowed to rotate, it means the building is going to somehow not a good thing. Like if beam is going to ductile, it means crack will be appear. So obviously, like crack or possible for more deformation, the fracture will be there. So this is not advisable. But this energy obviously has to be dissipated. So what can we do? Okay, the next slide. There is people, they later on came up with this idea of like once the lateral load is coming, this is distributing to each and every floor, and this energy of the floor at every floor can be dissipated by non-structural element or primary element members and all, like that beam and column, which is the main element of the structure. That building should not collapse. So they should not go to ductility, or they should not go to fracture to dissipate the energy. So we are giving another element to go to dissipate the energy. So like next slide, it is better to explain. Next slide is clear, I think. Yeah, here, see, the braces here you can see that the beam and column, which is the main structural element, nothing will happen for that. We are dissipating the energy through this braces system. So obviously this is already patented many times and all long before many type of devices as such has been patented. But this is a kind of patentable stuff if you have always some solution over to the previously, like something useful you're creating. So it means now it is useful creation, it novel and nobody has done before. So it can be patent. So you have the rights of use all over to the this building. And let's see what the people they have done. Let's see the next slide. Yeah, here's another type of friction, type of energy dissipation. It can be any other configuration. People, they can do separately patenting one by one like that. So obviously this work has been done already. This is disclosed long before, but so that is a kind of example of patent can be to solve the issue of that main element of the structure should not collapse. Okay, so see another slides. So this is another type of devices also. They are dissipating the energy through one small link element, shear link element. They have recently patented this one. This is in 2018, it is patented. So this is a kind of new devices, very simple. They are keeping it, and rest of the other elements are elastic, only allowing this part should go to collapse and allowing to go to deformation, post-yield deformation, that this should dissipate the energy. So rest of the other elements we are not allowing to go because they are the main element of the structure. So after the earthquake, we can only change this part, and that being kind of useful work they have done, right, in their own area. Okay, so next slide. Yeah, similarly, actually, we are having in our own area this braces, which is they are providing the energy dissipation on the building. So to this, the energy which is coming from the earthquake, that energy is trying to destroy and collapse the building. But this energy within the member, they are dissipating that energy. That energy is nothing that area under the curve, if you see in the right side, cyclic loading. That area, that is the energy, force deformation. Force deformation, simple physics formula. So in that, they are having the energy under the curve. So that is dissipating the energy. So later on, the people, they thought of, okay, this kind of brace was obvious in 1996 and all, like obviously it is not patented because it is very old type of braces. In 2004 and all, what the people they have done, because in this type of braces, there is the issue of backlaying. So it means braces, if it is cyclic load is coming, like earthquake is coming, building is going in right side and left side. So in one side it is going, the brace members are going under tension, which is tension capability is high. Yeah. And in the other side, the braces are going under compression, which is like the buckling failure which is happening. That resistance is much lesser than the tension. Okay. So this energy dissipation, obviously they provided to a kind of providing a very symmetrical hysteresis response, that curve on right side. If you see the next slide. Yeah, next slide. So this is the example of that kind of braces which is going to back. Yeah, this slide. So in this slide, see this, they have provided by only restraining, yeah, this slide. Providing the restraining, they can have the energy dissipation. That curve should be very rectangular shape, which is the red one is not rectangular. That is less energy, and this is much higher energy than that one. So they have provided, and this is kind of a good protection of the building against the earthquake. That kind of braces they have developed in the United States in 2004, and they have patented. Next slide. Let's go faster. This slide. Yeah, this is the configuration and how they have made it and all. Then after, so this is the example of like they have patented. Some companies are here. This is Nippon company, Core Braces, and there is one another company which different type of braces they have already patent for themselves. So those who wants to use such kind of braces in their building in the United States or any other part of the world, so they have to buy these braces from themselves, and they are providing and they are using and they are building and they are designing the building because they have already patented for themselves, and nobody else is having such rights to do that. So this is the patent, and this is belong to them. So in some point of view, that is the application which they have used and for different buildings, and they are now it is they are using in almost near to the in the United States, everywhere they are using such kind of braces, but already occupied all these things under the 4-5 companies, not more than that. So nobody else is having the rights to do the design. Nobody else is having to provide this. So such kind of braces. And so this is like, obviously in that they found there is one another guy in 2018, they have already used another connection. Like they found one problem in the connection. Once the loading is coming, that at the connection, this type of brace is having a problem. But they have patented that connection to make it flexible. If you see the bolt, that is making this region, like, I don't have the pointer to show you, I am sorry. Like that portion, they have, it was problem for this type of braces, which was destroying the beam and column at the connection zone. So this is obviously not a good term, but they have patented another patent, which is recently there for only this bolt and connection. And they have used this, and they have patented, yes, this portion. They have patented, and it is not going to create any problem to the beam and column by simple providing a bolt. So not so much, but obviously the one who has claimed this patent, already he knows very well, about the issues, that this was the issue. So he knew the issues, he thought of this, that how to solve the issue, but easily he came up with this solution. So the credit goes to his basic knowledge and information. Okay, next slide. Yeah. So this is actually the example of patent what we have done in India. That is, we are doing in India this kind of patent, which is like the procedure of patent is very easy. It is not so much. It is not even difficult like journal paper. Journal paper is much difficult than this. Simply, you are writing your invention and clearly writing your invention. So no need of writing the literatures within this. Only title and this field of the invention and background and objectives summary. This all this about whatever they want at the end of the patent. So obviously before that you have another form which at IIT Delhi we are doing FITT center, which they are providing this patent filing and all. But this facility they are providing for us, and before it is going to all India patent, they are doing their search, and their team is taking time to that. They should check whether it is having all the criteria patentability and it is not published somewhere else. All this work they have done. So obviously everyone can do file a patent except these people who are working in these offices. They are not allowed to file any patent because they are checking our patent. Okay, so this is so let's see the next slide. So this is all about simple filing patent, and we have done some. So that's previously slide. Yeah, previously slide. Yeah, this one. Yeah, in this slide, this is one of the patent that we have filed recently. Simply this braces, like how we are explaining. So in the research paper, we are not explaining like in that much detail. So here we are putting the number at each point, at each location, and then we are explaining what is this part, what is this part, in very detail and information. We should write one by one the part to what to be and explain in every detail. So each part of this your invention. So obviously the left hand side, the figure, it is the frame which is obvious frame everyone is using, but because our invention was this, the right hand side, so this is that one we have mentioned at the beginning. Okay, this is the use in here. Then in detail of that we have explained, okay, number 1, number 2, number 3. So in detail we will describe like that. Very easy, we can file the patent. So that is not difficult as journal papers. But first we should know the novel idea. This is very important to know. The next slide. Yeah, I think it is ended with this, where like overall we can say that find the relevant patent and find the competitors, find the relevant classification codes and all related to whatever you're filing the patent and all. So the publication which is in that related, you should find and distinguish what is the difference between your work and their work and what they have done and what you are doing. These points, if you consider in your mind, very easily you can claim and reach to the novel idea and find a nice patent. And I'm sure all of you are having very nice talented students I can see around. Sometimes like very easy way we can find and file patent, like we are solving a big issues, but first we should know what are the issues. This is very important. So the only thing, if we know the issues, identify the issues, I'm sure you will be very successful and you will do it very well. You will do it awesome, I'm sure. uh, so best of luck for you. And this next slide is, I think, this is some of the patent which I have filed recently in this in India, that it is international patent it is going. So thank you so much for this, your attention. I hope I am on time. So sorry for inconvenience. Actually, I'm chatting from my mobile and nothing is, even slides are not very clear for me. Uh, I don't know, there was some issue which is unexpected issue in my laptop. I couldn't to have control over the slides. And thank you so much for Daniel, like you have
Thank you, sir.
helped me in this. Yeah.
I think
Any
if any
questions?
participant, if you have any queries, you can ask Dr. Fayeq, or you can post your question in chat box. I think two participants they have. What is the charge to file the patent?
Uh, it is depends. Charge for the patent for the provisional, it is not so much, but for the international patent, obviously from IIT, once we are applying that, they are providing these things. You like again, it depends. It is between the 18,000 US dollar, I think, something like that. They are charging for this, controlling this government and this kind of charge. So then after that, the right is on you. But before filing the patent, you should pass all the procedure that your novel idea is really patentable and all. So obviously, I think your source or your they will provide this this amount by IITs or an institute. If you're working, they will provide, because I think this is a good point for them also, for their institute
Yeah.
credit also.
Another question is like what type of patents we can file in wastewater treatment, especially in disinfection process.
Uh, in water treatment.
Yeah, in water
Yeah.
wastewater treatment.
Okay. Actually, that again, I'm telling that first we should know for the water treatment already. I think number of ideas already rise. People there thinking all around the world. So again, this is not my field. Like we should get into that. So we should find what is the main problem. What are the people they are doing? Still, research is going on, right? So once you find the newly researched topic, they will do research on something which they have problem. Always the new research paper which you're reading, they are working on the topic which is there is problem, there is gap of researches exist. You identify the gap of research, and obviously one journal paper cannot solve the issue. They are some intent, they are solving some issue but not completing all the issues. So by reading this journals paper, you can identify like, okay, what is the gap, what is really the gap of research. So then after that, obviously it is time taking for you to whatever, if you propose this, if you propose that in your mind, you do all these things in your mind. So if you're finding at your mind like, okay, yeah, that solution also will be possible, so discuss with your supervisor. So I'm sure supervisor, he will guide you and he will tell you, he will explain you like, okay, whether is it patentable or not. But yeah, this at this stage, if you really think that, okay, you found some a nice solution, so, which surely I'm telling you, you can find. If you work in that way, you can find easily. It is not very tough job. It is not really tough job if your mind is continuously working on the problem which is exist. So once you find them, you can file the patent. Even after filing the patent, they will give the comment. They will support you after the comment. You will also learn so many things. Like they will ask the question, which is you will get to know like, oh yeah, such kind of things is like, this is obvious, or this is already has been done, or what is the difference between this work and that work. So similar work already has been done in another part of the world. So this kind of answer while you're giving, then again your knowledge will increase. If you're uh, uh, file or your work is not patentable, but still you will learn many things.
Another question is like, if any survey has been done before 200 years ago and I have to file the patent related to the same, is it relevant, especially in history background?
That is not really, but if something already has been done in the past, so obviously that is not patentable. If something has been done already in the past, so maybe the period or the time duration already has been expired for that. So for example, I have shown at beginning slides, there was a patent of nearly 200 years before in the United States. So they have patented. But obviously, if we want to do that right now to patent, so that is now obvious. So we cannot do such things.
Can a polymer or a composite can be patented?
Yeah, of
Composite
course we
can,
can.
yeah, polymer material, any new material can be patented, right?
New material can be, but polymer, since you are saying polymer, then obviously this is a material which is already exists.
Existed, yeah.
So already, yeah, it is extensively also used. So you can maybe find the best use of this in some any other issues. You use this product in somewhere which is very useful, or it should you take the best use of this material in your own area. So that can be patentable. Yes.
Types of patent may be filed in cyber security and blockchain.
Uh, that is most probably these things uh, uh, if it is going to the copyrights, that is again, it is depends. So depends to that whether they come up with some issue. If it is patent, they already patent. If it is not patent, it means this it become disclosed already. It is introduced to the people, right? So once it is become obvious, once it is disclosed, so you cannot take the same idea. So again, I'm telling the same. So if you want to think for the patent, just think for the novel idea. Target the main gap of research. Target the issues. Think over the issues. So a patent should be novel. A patent should not be used like something which already has been done.
I think Mr. Richa, you have any query? Hello, ma'am.
No, sir.
Okay. Can UG or PG students can contribute to this patent filing?
Yeah, of course. Of course, they can. UG, PG student, no matter. Obviously, there is uh, the rights to everyone to file the patent, except those who are working at the patent office. They are like obviously they cannot. So, but everyone else can be file a patent.
Uh, there's another question is like, may we get one sample patent filing applications?
Yeah, you can. That the sources which I have given, the link already. You can see number of patent application. So even you in your own area, you can look at that and you can search in your specific area. You can find. Even you can narrow the area. Like for example, I'm in earthquake engineering. I can narrow the bracing. I can narrow the filing of those bolts which I have shown you. Even further that I can search around that how many patents are there. So it is all the similar series at the same place, at the same series, you can find very easily. It is very nice accessibility is there. You can see, but you should narrative your area. First, you should identify the problem. Then you go and search for that, like whether it is filed or not, whether it is exist, whether the solution is exist for that or not. So then you can find it. Yes.
Can idea be patentable without developing a product?
Yes, you can even sometimes it is always advisable from patent offices because before you're going for the lab processing or this thing, you have the idea in your mind. You can write a provisional this filing and you can submit to the patent office. So then you will guarantee this disclosure will not win and it will not waste. So obviously, if you do later on the completing within a year also, or some places within a 2 years also, then you can submit to these offices.
Any more queries?
I hope all of you enjoyed with this
Yeah.
presentation. I'm
Yeah, yes,
sorry
sir.
again for this
No, it's yeah.
inconvenience with this. uh, uh, and it is really very good courses, and I
Yeah.
have seen all the courses syllabus and all, which is delivered with the nice faculty member, which they have
Yes.
delivered nice lectures and all. And
Yeah.
it's very important for those who are doing or planning to do PhD or doing research, master
Yeah.
program also, no matter. So
Yeah.
those who are interested to do research, it is very important to know these things before doing it, because something at the end of PhD, it is my experience again. I'm thinking at the end of PhD like, oh, so I have done lots of mistake. I'm surely everyone does the same. So it is better before I start on doing it, learn from their mistake, that you should not do the mistake. Even though like, okay, sometimes doing the mistake is also a kind of experience, and it is going to be experience for you. It is not going to waste. But obviously now I'm thinking if in case if I want to do for second PhD, most probably I can do it like within a 6 month. If the first PhD is gone to 4 years, in the second PhD, even in new area, which is not completely from different from civil engineering, so that I'm surely that can be faster, because now we learned during the period of time, like, okay, where we should target it, where we should go and what to do. So what to find to do, like once we know what to do, then obviously doing it is easy. Finding the methodology, the procedure to finish a nice PhD, that is very nice and it's very easy. And I'm surely you guys, if you're thinking of this thing, you can file the patent very nicely. So those companies which I have shown you from BRB, which is Braces, they have filed the patent. They are selling those products from United States, delivering to the Turkey, delivering to other countries, which is very far from the United States, and selling this very costly. So similar stuff we have done with something different at IIT Delhi. Maybe the cost is 1,000 for us, or 2,000 Indian rupees, that much cost. So like if really we think of such kind of patent and patentability, like we can work for our country, we can work for our community, and obviously this will be work for ourselves, because we have the rights of that product, that we can sell it anywhere, and we can uh, so give the rights to anyone to use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another question, like website for provisional filing.
Yes,
Can do it
there is
online or offline?
there is online is there also, but in India, if ITT, they are advising to first filing patent should be not online. It should be only through filing this hard copy. So we have submitted the hard copy. So even they are not accepting online also, that we have to give by ourselves, because it should be very confidential. Even the email which they are doing, and between themselves they are transferring the patent anywhere for the review and on. So it is in all the email we are CC on all those procedure, so that there should not be any problem, or somebody else cannot do the misuse of all this stuff. So that is secure procedures exist for that. So somewhere, yes, there's online is also, you can submit also, you can file.
Okay. Any more queries? I think to what about assignments that you have submitted? I think I am writing a report for everyone. Mostly, I think you will receive in your mail IDs. I'm planning to send to your mail IDs, so I think you will receive before, I think the session ends. Like before July 15th, you will, because more number of people has been submitted. So I will send through mail. Yeah. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you once again.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir.
Daniel. So
Yeah,
there is my email and website is also there. If you have, in case if you press the slides, next slides, maybe most probably it will be visible. So they can, in case
yeah.
of any question or any query, they can ask their question. My emails are there. So
If you have any query, you
they can
can
contact me.
drop a mail to.
Contact.
Yeah,
Yeah. Sure.
yeah,
Have a nice time.
yeah. Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much, sir. Thank you for accepting.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you. Thank you, sir.